Choosing a topic for my journal article speech was kind of hard and challenging because I wanted to pick something that was memorable but still relatable to other people. So I chose to talk about the music industry and how it has declined over the past few years. The article I chose to pull my speech from was Reshaping the Music Distribution Model and iTunes Opportunity from the Journal of Music Business Studies. This article was written by Oliver Small from the Richard Ivey School of Business. I chose to speak about this because I wanted to make others aware of streaming services like Spotify and iTunes and Apple streaming and the positives of it and the negatives. They do have positives and negatives, but it's kind of hard for artists to flourish if they are on these things. The 3 points I want to talk about are the decline of music sales, the effects on record labels, and how artists are coping with this sort of thing happening. So my first point will be the decline of music sales. As people have more access to streaming services and illegal downloading and music websites, artists are not being compensated for much of that because most of them are free. They offer free trials. People use free trials on certain things, and so it's really not helping the artists out. Because of the streaming services and illegal downloading, music sales aren't really increasing as the years go by. Streaming services also are not making a lot of money like Spotify, how they charge so much a month. Most of the time they just break even because they have to pay their artists, so it's really not helping anybody out from a business standpoint. Also, because of iPods, people can buy single songs instead of full albums and make playlists from that and have it just have all of their hands for a bunch of convenience purposes. So the music industry is declining like never before. The second point I would like to talk about would be the effects on the record labels. Some artists struggle to sign, and some of them never do. And the same thing goes with record labels. Some of them sign a bunch of artists, but some of them can't make a lot of money because their artists aren't big enough, or they're just on streaming services. So it's kind of hard both ways. Record labels do make a profit, but it's not a really big profit. So if their artists are on iTunes, they only get a little bit of that, and when they're on streaming services, they only get just a fraction of the pay of the artist. Because people have MacBooks and they're recording their music independently, the record labels can't get those artists, and it's really making competition for them. Labels are closing their doors, but some incredible artists are being signed, and they're causing them to thrive. So the third point I'd like to talk about are the artists and their response to this decline of the music industry. Some artists hit the jackpot by signing with labels like Big Machine Records and Warner Brothers, but people on indie labels tend to struggle a little bit. Some artists want to make music without having to worry about money, while others love to entertain. So if people wanted to put their music just on iTunes or streaming services, they wouldn't survive as an artist. The top paid artists like Taylor Swift only make about $300,000 a year from Spotify or streaming services, if that. Most of them make money by touring and keeping crowds interested in their work. Recently, Taylor Swift made a statement about Apple streaming and how artists are not being paid for it. Whenever Apple streaming says you get 3 free months, they do not pay their artists during the 3 months. So even though Taylor makes about millions a year from album sales and world tours, she wanted to be a voice for the people who don't hardly make anything from making music. And she wanted them to be paid for their hard work and their talent and get the payment they deserve. So she spoke out and made a big difference in the music industry. As I conclude, the industry is really declining for different reasons, and artists and labels are trying to improve their business. While free music is very nice, it's somebody's job, and other others should be aware of how the business works and